Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany. If you are brand new here, welcome. I'm glad you found my channel and that you're watching this video. We're gonna have a lot of fun as I show you how I made my Silver Stairs crochet blanket. This blanket pattern is so much fun. You're gonna find yourself just getting sucked right in, and it works up really quickly when that happens. And it's also display worthy. You're gonna wanna drape this blanket somewhere where people can see it. If it's a gift that you are making somebody, prepare to wow. Now, as I'm going through the tutorial, I'm going to tell you the chains, the number of chains that I chained to make the demo, the number of rows that I made to make the demo, and the approximate amount of yarn that I used for the demo. Okay, if you want to make a different size blanket than I have here, I have a chart I'm going to be including at the end of this video. The chart will include different sizes of blankets, the number of chains to chain in the foundation row for that size, the number of rows you will need to make, and the approximate amount of yarn that you're going to need for each blanket size. Now, the information that I am going to include in the chart is purely based on using the exact same materials that I use to make my blanket. If you want to deviate in any way, make a swatch. I'll put the swatch series information in the description section below for you. If you guys remember that swatch series, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about and how important it is that you do it. Okay, the pattern for the Silver Stairs crochet blanket, I will have a link in the description section and comment section below this video. It will take you straight to my website, crochetwithtiffany.com. There you can find the pattern and print it out and be ready to crochet with me. I do think you're gonna want it. This is a 9-row repeat. And you are more than welcome to watch my video over and over again, though the pattern may come in handy, as well as I included a diagram in there for extra guidance and assistance. All right, when you're ready to go, let's go ahead and check out what materials that I used to make the Silver Stairs crochet blanket. All right, let's talk materials. So the exact materials that I used to make my Silver Stairs crochet blanket includes the yarn Buttercream Luxe Craft Alpaca. That's probably why I love this blanket so much. It's made with alpaca. The color is charcoal. It is a size 6 super bulky, super chunky yarn. For me, in my demo, I used approximately 2,000 yards of yarn for both the main body and the border of my blanket for the demo. If you want to know how much yarn you're going to need for the blanket you're making, definitely refer to the chart at the end of the video. So this exact yarn right here contains about 130 yards of yarn per skein, or 6 ounces, 118 meters, or 170 grams of yarn. Feel free to substitute the yarn out if you would like. Use whatever you have on hand. I just recommend, if you are using my chart, that you use a size 6 weight, super bulky, super chunky yarn when you are making your blanket so everything aligns. Okay, substitution yarn you will find in the pattern. The crochet hook that I am using is a 12mm crochet hook. Just worked perfectly for those stitches. You'll want a pair of scissors, a yarn needle or tapestry needle that has a large eye, so that way the thick, super bulky, super chunky yarn will actually feed through it. I recommend having a stitch marker that has a large kind of top here, so that way it can actually fit around your yarn. I really liked this one. It was made by a friend, but they are available online if you'd like to purchase one, and a tape measure to help guide your way to make sure you're staying on track. Okay, I'll have links to everything you see here in the description section and comment section below. So if you want anything you see, all you have to do is click on that link, purchase the item, and have it shipped directly to you out of ease and convenience. Otherwise, if you have something on hand that you want to use, go ahead and get started making the Silver Stairs crochet blanket. All right, so right off the bat, the blanket that I made for my demo, it measured up to be 56 inches wide by 70 inches long. I started by chaining 75 chains for my demo blanket, and I made 73 rows. So boom, right off the bat, that is what we're working with if you'd like to write that down if you're making the same blanket that I did for my demo. If you are making a different size blanket, you will just chain the number of chains that you will need according to the chart that I provided for you. Now, there is a multiple stitch count requirement in order to achieve the pattern that we are going for in this blanket. The multiple stitch count requirement is a multiple of 8 plus 3. If you are somebody that likes to work up a chainless foundation row or dive right into row 1 without working a foundation row, refer to the chart, the diagram that I made in the pattern, so that way you know the exact amount of stitches you will need to make in that foundation list beginning. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and work up a small swatch section for you that repeats the pattern so I can get through the instructions faster along with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and work up a repeat of 3 so that way you can really see the pattern take charge and actually work up. So a multiple of 8, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. There's 3 multiples of 8 and then plus 3. 1, 2, 3. Great. We are now ready to dive right into row 1. I have my pattern right here ready to go. So again, pattern helps assist. We are going to start by double crocheting in the 3rd chain from our crochet hook and then making 1 double crochet stitch in every chain across thereafter. So looking at our V-stitches, 1, 2, double crocheting in that 3rd. All right, and then making 1 double crochet all the way across. Go ahead and continue and I will meet you at the end of row 1. Last double crochet stitch. Perfect, just finished row 1. We are now ready for row 2. To begin row 2, we start by chaining 2. 1, 2, turn our work. Now the chain 2 in this blanket always counts as the first stitch and will actually take the space of the first stitch space. We will begin by making 1 front post double crochet stitch around the 2nd post. So finding the 2nd stitch here. There we go. Inserting crochet hook from front to back, going behind it. So right behind it, then yarn over, pull the yarn through. So it's kind of flossing behind that stitch. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Perfect. So there's 1. Let's repeat that 3 more times for a total of 4 front post double crochet stitches. Then 2. 3. 4. Great. And then we will do 4 back post double crochet stitches. So identifying that next post, yarn over, come through from the back forward, pushing back that post, yarn over, pull through. So now it's kind of flossing from the other side. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, back post double crochet. And then 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And then that's the repeat pattern for row 2. 4 front post double crochet stitches and then 4 back post double crochet stitches. 4 front post, 4 back post. Repeat all the way across. Go ahead and continue on and I will meet you at the end of row 2 to show you how we close row 2, how it's a little different, and then move on to row 3. 3, and here at the end, making 4 around that last double crochet stitch, and then we are left with our turning chain here. We do count this turning chain at the very end as a stitch. What we will do is we will work a half double crochet stitch in the 2nd chain there at the top. So just yarn over, find that top chain here, the turning chain, and make a half double crochet stitch. Just like that. Perfect. Now if finding that last stitch is too difficult for you, just placing that last half double crochet stitch between the turning chain and that last post, that's fine. It won't hurt anything. You'll be okay. Okay, let's move on to row 3. Chain 2. 1, 2, turn our work. Okay, again, that chain 2 will be a stitch, counts as a stitch, takes the first stitch space here. Row 3 is the first row where we start offsetting everything and creating that diagonal stairs appearance. So we're going to start by making 1 back post double crochet stitch. So back post, double crochet. Perfect. And then making 1 front post double crochet around the next 4 stitches. And repeat as usual. Be the 4 front post, then 4 back post, then 4 front post, 4 back post. What you will notice though is because we have offset by 1, you'll be entering into the next group, making a stitch space that is opposite of the stitch below. So it's kind of cool. Here we go. So 4 front post double crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then, oh, this looks like it. This is a back post, but I'm going to place my 4th front post around it. There we go. See how it did that? Next, I'll do my 4 back posts. Back post 1, back post 2, back post 3, back post 4. Cool, and you already, right at row 3, you're already seeing this really cool transition, how everything is starting to look like it's moving in a diagonal line. So cool. All right, go ahead and continue on with 4 front posts and 4 back posts all the way to the end. I'll meet you here at the end to show you how it's a little different and how we move on to row 4. All right, here at the end of row 3, we've got 1, 2, 3 back post double crochet stitches. Before we end, we're going to close row 3 by making a half double crochet stitch in the second chain. Or if you can't find the second chain, just between the turning chains and that last post stitch. So half double crochet. Great. And what you'll notice is there are 3 back post double crochet stitches to close row 3, but add the first back post double crochet at the beginning and it all evens out to a total of 4. So pretty cool how the math just continues to work out in that way. All right, so for row 4, we start by chaining 2, 1, 2, turning our work. Chain 2 counts as the first stitch and takes that first stitch space. Looking at our pattern. So this is a cheat or a tip to help you out. When I am wanting to know what to do next with my new row, I will look at the pattern, lay it down. First thing I look for is, okay, which direction is the diagonal going? And for this, so far, already can tell the diagonal is going this direction. So that means that the first section I'm working with is going to shrink by 1 stitch. So then I look at the stitches. They appear to be front post double crochet stitches. Okay, well if it's going to shrink by 1, that means I'm going to start by making 2 front post double crochet stitches. And then I refer to the pattern, row 4, and yep, right here, start by making 2 front post double crochet stitches. Okay, so front post double crochet 1, front post double crochet 2, great, and then I dive right into my 4 back post double crochet, 4 front post double crochet, repeat pattern all the way across. So back post double crochet 1, and then here at the end, front post 1 and front post 2, and then I'm at the end of row 4, so I half double crochet in that second chain. Boom. There we go. Look at the pattern. Isn't it cool? Oh, I love it. Okay, moving on to row 5. Chain 2. Turning our work. Okay, laying the pattern down. Now the diagonal is going this way. That means that the first section I'm going to be working at is going to grow by 1 stitch. So I look at my stitches. They appear to me to be back post double crochets. So I'm going to start by making 1, 2. Oh, if there's only 2 here, I'm going to grow it 1. So making 3 back post double crochet stitches to begin row 5. Let me look at the pattern. Back post double crochet around the first 3 stitches. Okay, we're good. Here we go. Back post 1. Perfect. And then dive right into our repeat pattern of 4 front post double crochets, then 4 back post double crochets, and repeat all the way across. Great, and then ending row 5 with 1 back post double crochet stitch. There we go. Great, and then half double crochet in that second chain. There we go, great. Okay, moving on to row 6. For row 6, we chain 2, 1, 2, turn our work. Okay, so for row 6, you're gonna look at the pattern. So put the pattern down. Notice that the pattern is going diagonally in this direction now, which means that the first section is going to drop a stitch. Well, that puts us right into the 4 back post double crochet, then 4 front post double crochet, repeat pattern. Well, if it's a clean 4, 4, 4, 4, then why don't we just repeat through row 5 and then repeat everything 2 through row 5? Well, we haven't done a full 360 rotation or completion through the pattern yet. We've only gone like 180. Only gone halfway. So we're going to continue on with our repeats. So we start row 6 by making 4 back post double crochet stitches. One, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 front post double crochet stitches. And then repeat 4 back post, 4 front post, all the way across. I'll meet you at the end of row 6 to show you what we do next. 4, great, and half double crochet in that last stitch. Remember that last stitch is always a half double crochet stitch. The reason why is because these post stitches, they're not the full elongated double crochet, so they're not reaching the level of a full double crochet stitch because they're overlapping. So having that first stitch be a half double crochet will actually keep everything in line. So making sure you have that last stitch be a half double crochet stitch every time will be important, so that way your blanket isn't doing this weird kind of smiley face effect with the sides being a little bit longer than the rest of the blanket. All right, moving on to row 7. So we start by chaining 2, turning our work, placing our work down on the table. Which direction are we going, guys? Which direction? That way. This direction right here. So that means the first section will be adding a stitch so we can keep growing this way. So if we started with 4 back post double crochets, that's what I see here, then I'm actually going to begin with just 1 front post double crochet to bump everything over. So row 7, starting with 1 front post double crochet stitch and then diving right into the pattern. 4 back post double crochets, then 4 front post double crochets. Repeat that across and I'll meet you at the end of row 7 to show you what we do next. End of row 7 here, ending with 3 front post double crochet stitches, 2, 3, and then half double crochet in that second chain. Awesome. Oh, so pretty. Okay, chain 2. We are now on row 8. Laying down the work. The diagonal line is going this direction now, which means we are going to lose a stitch in the beginning. So I look at this, it looks like 3 back post double crochets. So if I'm going to lose a stitch, we're going to begin with 2 back post double crochet stitches. Back post 1, back post 2, and then begin our repeat. 4 front post double crochets, 4 back post double crochets, 4 front post, 4 back post, repeat all the way across. I will meet you at the end of row 8 to show you what we do for the last row of our repeat. All right, at the end of row 8, making 2 back post double crochets, 1 and 2, half double crochet, second chain. Awesome, last row of the repeat, row 9, chaining 2, turning our work, laying our work down. The diagonal's going this direction, which means the beginning section is growing by 1 stitch. Looking at the stitches, we have 2 front post double crochets, grow by 1. So we're going to begin row 9 by making 3 front post double crochet stitches. Front post 1, front post 2, front post 3, and then dive right into the pattern. 4 back post double crochet, 4 front post double crochet, repeat all the way across. Go ahead, I'll meet you at the end of row 9 to show you what we do next. For last stitch for row 9 is 1 front post double crochet and then half double crochet in the second chain to close row 9. Awesome. So that is the repeat pattern, guys. All we will do next is repeat row 2 through row 9 over and over again to get that completely full, starting with 4 front post double crochets and then ending with 4 full back double crochets. Kind of transition here where it completely, the beginning here would begin with 4 front post double crochets again. So 4 front posts. When will we receive another 4 front posts at the beginning? At row 10, that would be the beginning of the next transition. What I will do to help you out is I will put timestamps for each row in this transition here in the description section below of this video. So if you reach row 9 and you're like, okay, so now I need to go back to row 2, just go to the description, push on that timestamp, and it'll jump you right back to row 2. So you're not having to search and find where is the beginning of this rotation or transition repeat pattern. You know what I mean? I'm going to help you out with that. So yeah, just go in the description, find row 2, click on it. It'll shoot you back to row 2 where you will begin the cycle repeat of row 2 through row 9. You're going to repeat this cycle through the last row of whatever blanket size that you are making. I have that information in the chart as well. Feel free to go by it or deviate and make however many rows that you want to make. For me, I made a total of 73 rows. Shoo fly. I made a total of 73 rows to make my demo blanket. What I want to do next is I want to jump right into the border, how I made the border for this blanket. All right, so when it comes to the border, I did not cut yarn off, reattach yarn. I just went ahead and continued on with the yarn, with the project, right into the border. Let's pretend we have finished with the inner body and we're ready for row 1, the foundation row of the border. We will start by chaining 1 and turning our work. We will begin by making 1 single crochet stitch in each stitch space, the top of each stitch space, all the way across. Go ahead and do that, and then I will meet you at the very end of this top section to show you how we will go around the corner and start working the first side of the blanket. Okay, when we get to the very end of the top here, finding that chain 2 at the end of the row, finding that second chain, we will make 3 single crochet stitches in that top chain or corner to get us around. So 1, 2, 3, and turn. See how it makes that very smooth transition there? I just love it. Okay. Generally, when we would work the side of a blanket that began with a chain 2 or ended with any or had a bunch of double crochet stitches in them, we would make 2 single crochet stitches along the sides of the blanket. However, I tried that with this blanket and it was too much. It caused the whole side to have this big ripple. There were too many stitches. The best way for me to work up the side of this blanket is just adding 1 single crochet stitch in the side of every row. So if you want to, feel free to take your fingers and really spread out your blanket and work 1 single crochet stitch in the side of each row. Now, why do I not start here at the very top? Because working the 3 single crochet stitches here in the top corner, the first single crochet stitch counts as the very last stitch for this side. The second single crochet stitch is our turning stitch, and the third single crochet stitch actually counts as the very first single crochet stitch for this next side of the blanket, and it counts for that first row. So I'm going to now move on to the next row. Right here, single crochet. Next row, go around that chain 2, single crochet. All right, repeat this all the way down to the next corner. Great, in that last corner, guys, right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and make 3 single crochet stitches to get us around that corner. And then shifting blanket. So we are now working along the bottom of the blanket. Now for me personally, the way I worked into my foundation row chain, I have just 1 loop here at the very bottom, and I do not want to work in the foundation row because we didn't count the foundation row as a row. That we started row 1 working double crochet stitches, okay? Because we did not count the foundation row as a row, I'm actually going to work my single crochet border between these double crochet stitches. So if I take my fingers and stretch out my work, I'm going to actually place my crochet hook between these stitches here, and that is where I will place my single crochet. Now don't worry about there being any difference in stitch count. There's no difference in stitch count. It will be fine. Everything will work out. Okay, so repeat this all the way across the bottom of your blanket, and I'll meet you in the next corner. Great, coming to the very last stitch space here. Between these last 2, I'm going to make 3 single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, take this tail from the very beginning of our work and just move it off to the side. We do not want to crochet over it. That will not secure that tail well enough for it to stay put. We will weave that in at the end of the project. Make my 3rd single crochet stitch and then repeat working this side of the blanket the same way we worked the other side of the blanket, just making 1 single crochet stitch in the side of every single row. And again, if you need to take your fingers and stretch your work so you can see where the rows are, that is a great way to help you see everything a little bit better. Okay, in that last row here, we're going to just make 2 single crochet stitches because there's already 1 single crochet stitch here. That was our first single crochet to begin our entire border. So single crochet 1, single crochet 2, and then slip stitch into the top of that first single crochet stitch you made to close row or round 1 of our border. Perfect. Round 1 of our border is really the foundation of our border and sets up the rest of the border. So after you have completed round 1, the rest is so much easier to work in because now you actually have stitch spaces to work into along the sides of your work, the bottom, all the way around. So much easier. Okay, starting round 2 of our blanket border, we're going to begin by chaining 2. 1, 2. This chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and we will actually be ignoring it moving forward every single time we chain 2 to get to the next row or next round. It will always be ignored. We are not counting it for the border. We will begin by making 1 double crochet stitch in every stitch space all the way around. When we get to the corners and we see the 3 single crochet stitches in the corner, we will make 1 double crochet in the first stitch, 3 double crochets in the second or middle stitch, and 1 double crochet in the third stitch, repeating in each corner. I will meet back up with you in this 4th corner here to show you how it's worked a little bit differently, and then we will move on to the next round. All right, great. We are now met up here at the very beginning. Here at the top corner, we will make a total of 3 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then slip stitch into the top of the very first double crochet stitch. Remember, we are ignoring the chain 2 completely. It doesn't exist. So find that first double crochet stitch here and slip stitch into the top of that, and then turn our work. Oh my gosh, this fly is going to just drive me insane. Okay. The next 4 rounds that we will be making will be post stitch rounds. They will be front post double crochet stitches around every single stitch space all the way around. When we get to the corners, we will find the 3 double crochet stitches. We will make a front post double crochet around the first, 3 front post double crochet stitches around the second, and then 1 front post double crochet around the third for every single corner all the way around for every single round. Okay, so let's go ahead and work this, and I will work up a couple rows, a couple rounds with you. The 4th round is really going to be the one that changes the most, and that is what I will show you to make sure you have a clear understanding of what to expect for every round that you choose to make for your border. So we will begin by chaining 2. Again, chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and working a front post double crochet stitch around the stitches below. Okay, corner number 1, this is round 3 of the border. Okay, found the 3 double crochet stitches here in the corner. Going to front post around the first double crochet. Around the second double crochet, we will make 3 front post double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So it'll look like that, kind of like a fan overlapping. And then 1 front post double crochet around the third double crochet stitch. So that is what it will look like. And this is how we will repeat every single corner all the way around. And when we move on to more rounds over and over again, we will continue to look for the corner 3 stitches and make 3 stitches around that second middle stitch to help us make that smooth transition to the next side of the blanket. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and let you go and meet up with you in corner number 4 here, and that is where I'm going to stop and kind of give you a direction on what to expect moving forward. All right, corner number 4 here, I came upon my 3 double crochets in the corner, 1 post, 3 posts around that second middle double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and then 1 post double crochet around the next. Finding that chain 2, we are skipping the chain 2. That stitch doesn't count as a stitch, it doesn't exist. Find the first post, slip stitch on top of the first post stitch to close the round. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay, so when it comes to moving forward, you can make as many rounds as you want to make for your blanket border. For me, I went to 6 rounds, including the first single crochet round, then the second round being double crochets, and then 4 rounds of post stitch double crochet stitches. So that is what I did for my border. The big difference here is really corner number 4. Every round that you are going to grow, you will have 1 more stitch that you will need to post around before you close the round, because this diagonal 3 double crochet posts is going to go this way, and then the join is going to stay here. So you're going to kind of grow by 1 stitch. Just remember, as a guide, as you're working this 4th corner, look for the chain 2. Remember that the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. Work post stitches around stitches up to that chain 2, and then stop and slip stitch into the top of the first post stitch of that round to close the round. Okay. I will also make a diagram on the corner here and how it grows and expands to guide you with that, to know what to expect for that 4th corner as well, just to make sure that everything lays flat and looks beautiful and exactly the way you want. All right, guys, the only other thing I want to mention is definitely as you are working up this blanket, you will need to attach more yarn as you go. I will put in the description section 2 very good videos that I have. One being the invisible join stitch that I love and use all the time. It is my favorite joining method, and it is a quick video that you can reference. I also have another video on multiple different ways that you can join your yarn together if another method would work better for you. Check that out. All right, guys, I hope you love this blanket. Okay, this is easily one of my favorite crochet blankets I have ever made, and I'm a little bit sad that this is a gift and I'm actually giving this away and not able to cuddle with it every day, because I totally would. The other thing that makes this one of my favorite blankets is that this pattern would look amazing for anybody, from an adult to a baby blanket and anyone in between, in any color that you could possibly want to make it in. This is going to just knock it out of the park. And so yeah, this is a win all the way around. I am just in love. I hope you guys had so much fun watching this video. If you did, you're going to want to check out these videos right here. Just keep crocheting with me, hanging out, having a great time, and making more memories. Guys, I hope you have the best day, and I'll see you with the next one. Bye.